Listen up. Life isn't fair, and no one is going to hand you power, respect, or success on a silver platter. If you want to dominate your world, if you want to be unstoppable, you need one thing above all else: discipline. Discipline is the secret weapon that separates the weak from the dangerous. And I'm not talking about some half-hearted routine. No, I'm talking about relentless, unforgiving, ironclad discipline that makes you a machine, a predator in a world full of sheep. Every day, people waste hours scrolling on their phones, chasing distractions and complaining about their problems. And where are they at? Exactly. Still broke, still weak, still invisible. But you have the chance to break that chain. You want power, you want freedom, you want respect? Then you need to train your mind, your body, and your will like a weapon. Wake up earlier than anyone else. Grind harder than anyone else. Push yourself beyond the limits most people won't even touch. That's how you become dangerous. Not by chance, not by luck, by discipline. Here's the truth. Most people won't tell you. Talent without discipline is worthless. Money without discipline is gone in a flash. Women, respect, status, they all flee from weakness. But when you are disciplined, you control yourself. And when you control yourself, you control the world around you. You wake up with purpose, attack the day like a soldier, and don't stop until you've conquered what you set out to conquer. Discipline is your edge. Discipline is your weapon. Discipline makes you untouchable. Stop believing in motivation. Motivation is weak. It comes and goes like a candle in the wind. 1 minute you feel unstoppable. The next minute you're scrolling through nonsense, wasting hours of your life. That's not power. That's not strength. That's not success. The people who dominate life, who rise above everyone else, do it on one thing: discipline. Discipline is not a suggestion. It's a weapon. A sharp, dangerous weapon you carry every single day, and it will cut through every excuse, every obstacle, every weakness. If you want to become someone feared, respected, and unstoppable, you don't wait for motivation. You forge discipline until it's unbreakable. Discipline is built in the small, boring moments that no one sees. It's waking up when your body screams for another hour of sleep. It's training when your mind begs for rest. It's showing up when the world doesn't care. The weak chase feelings, but the strong master themselves. Every day you postpone action, every day you give in to distraction is a day your power diminishes. Every day you enforce discipline, even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient, you grow stronger, you become sharper, you become dangerous. This is the truth most people refuse to face. Life isn't fair, life isn't kind, and life rewards only the relentless. Discipline is the currency that buys respect, control, and results. Without it, you have nothing. Ask yourself why some people accomplish more in a single year than others do in a lifetime. It isn't luck, it isn't talent, it's discipline. They have trained themselves to act when others hesitate, to push when others quit, to endure when others give up. They've developed a system where their actions are automatic, predictable, unstoppable. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for inspiration. They don't care if it's comfortable. They do what needs to be done every day, no matter what. And the results, they're untouchable. They become the person everyone else looks at with envy, admiration, and fear. That could be you, but only if you stop waiting for fleeting feelings and start mastering yourself. Discipline doesn't just shape your day, it shapes your identity. The stronger your discipline, the stronger your character, the sharper your mind, the more lethal your presence becomes. When you are disciplined, people notice. Opportunities appear, respect is earned, fear follows where power flows. Disc. Deepline transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones because it forces you to take control of everything: your habits, your time, your focus, your emotions. It turns you into someone who doesn't negotiate with life, someone who doesn't stumble through chaos, someone who dictates the terms of their existence. That is power, that is dominance, that is danger. Here's the trap most people fall into. They confuse motivation with action. They wait to feel like it, to get inspired, to catch a wave of energy. And while they wait, life passes them by. Discipline doesn't wait. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline moves, acts, and conquers regardless of mood or circumstance. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't take breaks. It doesn't compromise. You build discipline one choice at a time, and each choice compounds, turning weakness into strength, hesitation into action, and potential into power. Once discipline becomes your weapon, nothing can stop you. Obstacles are no longer threats. They're opportunities to prove your strength. Weaknesses are no longer limits. They're challenges to sharpen your edge. Life doesn't get easier, but you get sharper, faster, stronger, more dangerous. That's the secret the lazy will never understand. Success isn't about luck, talent, or feelings. Success is about consistent, relentless, unyielding discipline. Everything else is a distraction. Most people live their lives as if the world owes them something. They blame circumstances, other people, the system, luck, or timing for their failures. And while they're busy whining, the world passes them by. Let me tell you something brutally honest. The The world doesn't care about your excuses. It rewards only those who take control, not of the world first, but of themselves. Control your mind, control your habits, control your body, and suddenly the chaos around you bends to your will. That's the first rule of becoming dangerous. If you cannot control yourself, you can't control anything. Weak men are controlled by impulses, by anger, by fear. Strong men are controlled by discipline, by strategy, by vision. They decide who they become, and no one else gets a vote. Your emotions are a weapon or a trap. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. Anger makes them lash out. Fear makes them freeze. Lust makes them stumble. But the moment you master your mind, you become untouchable. Imagine walking through life knowing that no insult can break you, no rejection can stop you, no obstacle can shake you. That's not luck. That's control. That's power. People see you moving through life like a predator and wonder how you do it. They don't realize the truth. You've trained yourself to rule your inner world, and because you rule yourself, you automatically rule everything else. Time is another battlefield. Most men waste it endlessly. They let distractions, social media, and meaningless chatter dictate their schedules. They are slaves to other people's priorities. You decide where every second goes. Every hour you master is another hour the world bends to your strategy. Control over your time is control over your results. The disciplined, the self-controlled, the ones who plan, execute with precision, these are the men who become legends. The ones feared, respected, and admired. They don't wait for permission. They don't ask for opportunities. They create them because they control the one thing that matters more than anything themselves. Control isn't just about mind or time. It's about habits. Every habit you allow to dominate you chips away at your power. If you wake up late, eat poorly, waste your energy, and scroll endlessly, you are weak. If you train your body, sharpen your mind, and demand excellence from yourself every day, you are dangerous. The world responds to strength. Weakness is ignored, exploited, and forgotten. Discipline turns small actions into a force that commands the environment. You don't react to the world, you pee it. You are the storm, not the leaf in the wind. Most people never understand this because they confuse chaos with life. They think life is about luck or connections or waiting for the right moment. Wrong. Life is about control. The moment you can master your impulses, your emotions, your habits, your decisions, you stop being a victim. You stop letting others dictate your story. You stop chasing approval, chasing pleasure, chasing comfort. You step into power. You move through the world like a predator. People feel it. They respect it. They fear it. And all of it comes from one thing, control. And here's the secret. Control compounds. Every day you master yourself, every choice to act instead of react, every refusal to give in to weakness makes the next day easier. You don't get tired of being disciplined, you get stronger. You don't get bored of control, you get sharper. And the world, which once seemed chaotic and unmanageable, suddenly bends to your strategy. You become untouchable because the first battle is already won. You have conquered yourself. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants the money, the respect, the freedom. But here's the brutal truth. Most people refuse to face. 99% of them are not willing to do what it takes. They want the reward without the effort. They want the throne without the battle. They want to be kings while still living like peasants. And that's why most people fail. If you want to rise above mediocrity, if you want to become dangerous, if you want to dominate every area of life, you have to grind harder than anyone else. You have to embrace the work, the struggle, the long hours that no one else can handle. Grinding harder isn't just about effort. It's about consistency, focus, and intensity. Most men think grinding is showing up occasionally, doing the minimum, and hoping results appear. That's weakness disguised as action. The real grinders move when the world sleeps, sacrifice what others indulge in, and refuse to stop until the target is destroyed. They don't complain. They don't negotiate. They don't wait for permission. Every step they take, every decision they make is calculated to put them ahead of the competition. That's how dangerous people are built, through relentless effort, repetition, and obsession with mastery. The truth is, people love shortcuts. They want instant success, easy wins, and recognition without earning it. That's why they stay average, frustrated, and invisible. Meanwhile, the ones who grind harder turn the odds in their favor. They work while others rest. They study while others party. They push their bodies when others quit. They embrace pain because they know pain is the forge of strength. The world doesn't reward mediocrity. It rewards domination. And domination is born from grinding harder, smarter, and longer than anyone else willing to step into the arena. Most men quit when the work gets uncomfortable. Most men stop when they feel tired, overwhelmed, or uncertain. But grinding harder isn't about comfort. It's about embracing discomfort as fuel. Every moment you push when others pull back, every sacrifice you make when others indulge, every time you keep going when everyone else has given up, you compound your advantage. You're not just working, you building momentum. You're not just hustling, you're creating a force that cannot be ignored. People see your results and ends to respond to your energy, your drive, your relentless pursuit of greatness. And that's how you separate yourself from the masses, the ones who dream versus the ones who dominate. Here's the kicker: grinding harder isn't just about working more. It's about outsmarting, outlasting, and out-executing everyone else. Talent fades, motivation fades, opportunities are limited, but consistency, intensity, and relentless effort are infinite. The harder you grind, the sharper your skills become, the stronger your body and mind grow, and the bigger your results explode. You create a life no one else can compete with, because while they slept, you conquered. While they hesitated, you executed. While they gave up, you crushed it. That's how winners are made. That's how dangerous men are forged. Weakness is what holds most people back. They see it in themselves, they feel it in their lives, and they fear it will define them forever. Most men try to hide it, avoid it, or blame it for their failures. But let me tell you something no one else will. Weakness is not your enemy. It is your weapon. It is the starting point, the raw material from which power, strength, and dominance are forged. The moment you stop fearing your weaknesses and start using them as fuel, you stop being ordinary. You stop being replaceable. You start becoming dangerous. Every struggle, every flaw, every insecurity is an opportunity to grow stronger. Most men see failure and recoil. They see challenges and retreat. They see pain and complain. But the ones who dominate life, they see weakness and attack it. They dissect it, confront it, and convert it into a tool for power. Weakness is nothing but untrained potential. Pain is nothing but untapped energy. Struggle is nothing but practice for dominance. The difference between the weak and the dangerous is simple. The weak avoid it, the dangerous embrace it. Look at the world around you. The strongest men, the richest men, the most feared and respected, they all have one thing in common. They didn't start perfect. They didn't start strong. They started with flaws, with weaknesses, with gaps in their skill and vision. What separated them from everyone else wasn't talent or luck. It was their refusal to let weakness define them. Every failure became a lesson. Every defeat became fuel. Every flaw became a sharpening stone. They didn't cry about it. They didn't make excuses. They transformed it. And that is exactly what you must do if you want to become dangerous. Pain and struggle are essential. Most men live in comfort, avoiding anything that challenges them. They want easy wins, soft lives, and safe routines. But comfort breeds weakness. Comfort makes you soft, invisible, and forgettable. If you want to turn weakness into strength, you must step into discomfort. You must push your body past exhaustion, your mind past doubt, and your limits past fear. That is where strength is born. That is where danger is forged. Every moment you confront a weakness, you gain power. Every time you refuse to quit when it hurts, you gain leverage over life itself. Mental strength is forged the same way. Every fear you face, every insecurity you overcome, every challenge you embrace chips away at weakness. The mind of a weak man crumbles under pressure. The mind of a dangerous man thrives on pressure. He uses it to sharpen focus, sharpen strategy, and sharpen execution. Weakness becomes a tool, not a cage. Failure becomes a teacher, not a prison. Life no longer pushes him around. He pushes life around. The process is simple but ruthless. Identify your weakness. Attack it relentlessly. Practice until it becomes a strength. Push yourself until you dominate what once dominated you. There is no shortcut. There is no excuse. Weakness cannot be avoided. It must be confronted, converted, and weaponized. The more you embrace it, the more you grow, the more dangerous you become. Ordinary men hide their weaknesses and stay average. Dangerous men expose theirs and become unstoppable. Here's the hook that most men never understand. Every weakness you overcome compounds. Every insecurity you conquer fuels confidence. Every limitation you push past increases your power. Weakness isn't permanent. It's temporary until you decide it isn't. When you turn weakness into strength, you don't just level up. You create a life no one else can compete with, a presence no one dares challenge, and a mindset no one can break. That is how you become dangerous, untouchable, and feared. Talent is overrated. Everyone thinks success is about being naturally gifted, about being the smartest, fastest, or strongest from the start. That's a lie sold to keep you average. Talent without action is nothing but wasted potential. A talented man who shows up sporadically, who takes shortcuts, who quits when it gets hard, will always be outperformed by someone less gifted, but far more consistent. Consistency isn't flashy. It doesn't make headlines, but it builds empires, shapes legacies, and separates the weak from the dangerous. Look at the world around you. The richest men, the most powerful athletes, the most feared leaders. They weren't the most talented when they started. They were the ones who refused to quit, the ones who did the work every day, the ones who outworked and outlasted everyone else. Talent can give you a head start, but consistency carries you across the finish line. You show up when others sleep. You practice when others party. You put in the hours when everyone else makes excuses. That relentless daily effort compounds into results that talent alone could never achieve. Consistency is more than just showing up. It's showing up with focus, with intensity, and with purpose. A man who is consistent doesn't let distractions derail him. He doesn't wait for motivation to strike. He doesn't rely on luck or inspiration. He shows up because he has a system, a discipline. HT feel insignificant, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, it creates unstoppable momentum. Your skills improve, your body strengthens, your mind sharpens, and your presence grows. You become someone the world has no choice but to notice. You become dangerous. You become untouchable. You become the man who doesn't just dream, doesn't just hope, but dominates through relentless action and unyielding consistency. Most men live their lives as prey. They wait for opportunities to come to them. They follow the crowd, and they let circumstances dictate their existence. They complain when things don't go their way and blame the world for their failures. That is weakness. That is average. That is exactly why they will never be dangerous. If you want to dominate life, if you want to command respect, if you want to move through the world untouchable, you must stop being prey. You must become the predator. You must hunt, attack, and conquer with relentless precision and unshakable confidence. Being the predator starts with mindset. Most people react to life. They respond to events, to others' decisions, to chance. A predator acts first. He decides the terms of engagement, sets the pace, and forces the environment to adapt to him. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't wait for luck, and he doesn't wait for comfort. He strikes where others hesitate. He moves when others freeze. He attacks when others retreat. That is how dangerous men are made, not by luck, not by waiting, but by the decision to lead the hunt rather than be hunted. The world is full of distractions, weak minds, and unprepared men. Most people fall into traps, chasing illusions, following trends, or trying to please others. Predators don't get caught in the traps. They create them. They set the pace. They control the rules, and they force everyone else to play by their terms. Every move is deliberate. Every choice is calculated. Every action builds dominance. That is how power accumulates. That is how fear and respect are earned. While the average man drifts, the predator seizes. While the weak complain, the predator executes. Predators thrive on control, not chance. Every moment wasted, every hesitation, every weakness allowed is an opportunity for someone else to dominate you. If you want to be feared and respected, you must master the art of being proactive, not reactive. You must anticipate, strategize, and attack before others even realize the battle has begun. You must take risks that the average man avoids because you understand that life rewards the bold, not the timid. Predators do not wait for opportunities. They create them, they stalk them, and they strike with precision. Your body, your mind, and your habits must reflect this mentality. A predator is disciplined, trained, and relentless. He doesn't indulge weakness because indulgence is a vulnerability. He doesn't follow the masses because conformity is a trap. He sharpens himself every day, mentally, physically, and strategically, so that when the moment comes to strike, he is ready. This is not optional. If you hesitate, if you slack, if you fail to prepare, life will eat you alive. The world does not reward average, it devours it. Only those who hunt, dominate, and strike with intent survive. The difference between prey and predator is also a matter of energy. Prey reacts out of fear, uncertainty, and hesitation. Predator acts with confidence, focus, and aggression. People can sense it. They feel it in your presence. They respond to it with respect, fear, or envy. You become untouchable not because you are lucky, but because you project control, power, and dominance. You create your own reality. You decide the outcome. You are the one in charge. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every habit you enforce must reflect this predator mentality. Attack mediocrity, hunt excellence, and dominate every situation you encounter. Be ruthless with weakness, relentless with effort, and toppable in execution. Most men will remain prey their entire lives because they refuse to evolve. You have the chance to become different, to become dangerous, to be the predator, to move through life on your own terms, feared, respected, and untouchable, while the world struggles to keep up. So I'm telling you, stop waiting for motivation to hit you. Motivation is a lie, a fleeting spark. Discipline is a fire you build, feed, and carry wherever you go. Make your body, your mind, and your habits so sharp, so precise, so relentless that the world cannot ignore you. Become dangerous. Become the predator, not the prey. And when people ask how you did it, you'll simply smile and say discipline. That's it. Nothing else. Remember this, your destiny isn't written in the stars. It's written by your actions, your consistency, your discipline. Today you choose. Will you be average, weak, and forgotten, or will you become dangerous, unstoppable, and feared? The choice is yours. Take it, own it, dominate.